Hi everyone, Mr. Oliver here again from the James Prendergast Library with another STEAM concept from our makerspace. And just like the other week when we did the water bottle tornado, this is going to be another one of those projects that's going to be for our take-home STEAM kits that were generously funded by a grant from the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation. So thank you to them. Today we are going to be studying something called chromatography. Now, chromatography is a fancy word that they use in science where they look at the colors an object breaks down into to make judgments about what it's made out of. So the way we're going to do that today is use this sheet of paper, which is called chromatography paper, which I've already gone and put a hole in the center, which will come in, that'll be important later on. We're going to use 4 different markers, water, and then just a chunk of paper towel. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use these colored markers. Sorry, the chromatography paper is really hard to pick up. And I am going to make dots around the circle. And you can do dots, you can do a ring. The idea though is you just want to make sure you go around the circle. Do red, orange, and then I'm going to do a second right next to them. That way most of the area around the hole I made is filled in. So I have my 4 colors: black, purple, this reddish maroon type color, and then orange. And so I have this chunk of paper towel. In the instructions it says 1 inch by 4 inches, so I went ahead and measured that out just to make sure it looks right. But it doesn't have to be precise. You can, estimate it. And then you're going to crumple up one of the edges so it makes a point. And you're going to go from the underside of the chromatography paper. Oh, let me fix that. And so you'll have this tail. And so what I'm going to do now is I have this glass of water, this cup of water, that's filled up about halfway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the paper towel into the water and let the chromatography paper sit on the edge of this, because you don't really want to submerge the chromatography paper. And what's going to happen is the water is going to float up the paper towel, and then where they meet, it's going to move across. And if it goes right, we should actually see something happen with the different colors. Now, I want you guys to think about what you think might happen. Are they just going to continue out all the way to the edge? Are they going to break down into other colors? Because remember, purple is a mixture of red and blue. Orange is a mixture of red and yellow. And this maroon color looks to me like it's actually a mixture of red and blue, just a lot more red than blue because it's so light. And then black, well, that might be a surprise. We might see something interesting with that. So let's see what happens. Put this in, let's set it down, and it just sits there. Okay, so I actually had to change out my paper towel because, as you guys see right here, this is where that was coming out of the top. None of the water was really traveling up that. This paper towel just, I don't know, just not conducive for the kind of project that we're doing. So what I'm doing instead is changing to this white paper towel. That's kind of like a Kleenex or a tissue. So hopefully that works a little better. So that's another thing. If you don't have paper towels at home, tissue paper, toilet paper might work as well. Put that in there and let's see what happens. Wow, I can already see, so you see the paper towel untwisting out right up here. That means the water is going through. And if you look in the top here, it's already moving. That is really cool. So if you look really closely here on the orange, I'm going to try and move that out of the way just a little bit. You can see some of the red and yellow as it breaks down. And as you look over here with the magenta color, you can see some of the red and a little bit of the purple. And it's really hard to see on the blue, or sorry, on the purple, but on the edges there's some blue there. What's really interesting to me is the black. I see a little bit of orange, a little bit of green, and a little bit of blue. Just right in there. It's kind of hard to see, but you can almost see it. I do like the shape that it's making because of the way I put the dots. It almost looks like a flower petal. That's really cool to me. But it's also really cool how the colors are changing there. So what's happening is the different pigments that these pens are made out of, they all have different colors in them. And so the different colors of the inks have different densities. So if you guys watched a video that Miss Christie did at the beginning of the summer, she did an experiment where she had a jar with different liquids in it. And she was able to float different things in the liquid because they had different densities. So if you guys remember the other week when I was talking about the difference between water and air and how air is lighter than water, that's part of the density. So some things are heavier than others, so they're more dense. So what's happening here is that certain of these colors have different densities, so they're not moving as fast or as far. And that's why it actually, orange here, to me, has a lower density than the black over here. Because if you look, the black hasn't traveled that far. The water hasn't traveled to the black that far. But it's traveled a lot farther than through the orange. Might be the placement of the paper, but I'm not certain. All these are really cool questions to me. And I think this is a really cool experiment. Now, if you guys get to do these at home, if you check it out, I would love to see your pictures of what you do. Feel free to share them with us, send them in. But just remember, end of January, this is something you guys are going to be able to do at home and have a lot of fun with. All right, until next time, have a good day.